Good afternoon, everybody. I am Sam Harvey from the Center for Career and Professional Development, and this is Coffee and Conversation. So, as always, welcome. Today, I'm going to talk more about how you can gain experience. This is really important for if you're a first-year student, you haven't necessarily had any formal opportunities, and how you can get that type of experience to be able to put on your resume when you're looking for positions that are more related to the field that you're looking to work in. So the first thing I want to talk about is what actually counts as experience. And the short answer is anything can count as experience. Experience refers to direct and personal participation or observation. It doesn't need to be a formal work environment that you're in to gain experience in the field that you're in. And I speak to a lot of students pretty regularly that have a lot more experience than they tend to give themselves credit for. So things to consider are unpaid opportunities and internships. Those can go on your resume. Those are active experiences for you. Volunteer positions, personal projects that you work on, class projects. Those all count as experience that you're having within this field that you're interested in getting in. Yes, a paid experience can sometimes be seen as more grounded, but these other things also show the skills you're able to get. And I'll talk a little bit more about how sometimes they're even better than these paid experiences might end up being. When it comes down to it, when you're adding all these things to your resume or talking about them in your cover letter or interviews, it's about how you show what it is you are able to accomplish and how that relates to this position. That's going to be the most important thing. A resume is not a legal document, is the first thing I will always say, but it's a chance for you to be able to show what you have done in relation to this, and that header of experience can speak to a lot of different things. It can just say experience and include leadership opportunities you've had, and include your volunteer positions, include some small freelance stuff you maybe did. It could say specifically volunteer experience. It could say leadership experience. You can have relevant experience. You can have other experience on your resume. The way that you present that is going to be able to direct the person who is looking for it about what it is that you feel about these positions. So if you are going into your job searching opportunities and you haven't necessarily had what you would consider relevant experience, just use the title experience, and that means a whole swath of different things. So I want to investigate a little bit more this idea of unrelated positions. So a lot of students have been lifeguards, camp counselors, store clerks, or been a part of a club or organization. All of these things count towards your experience. They will be able to speak to the skills you have, such as organization, communication, customer service, responsibility, and beyond that, even more things. And all of these things are going to be in a lot of job descriptions that you look for. I don't think I've ever seen a job description that doesn't have strong written and oral communication as a requirement for the job. So by being able to share with potential employers that you've had these positions, even though they're not directly related to the types of employment you might be looking for, they will show a level of skill and ability that will speak to the other aspects of the job. If you really think about it, all other things considered equal, and even if you think of it as not necessarily considered equal, who would you want to hire? The person who has good work but seems to just have good work. Their resume is very sparse. They just have a list of the softwares that they know. Or would you be more interested in the other person whose work is really good and they were also a camp counselor at a camp for the last 3 summers and have been able to organize and speak with different teenagers about what's going on in their life or something like that? it says something so much more about the person who has that work experience on there than the person who doesn't. So when you don't have any other related experience, it's worth playing up these other things that you've been able to do in order to speak towards the abilities you have been able to show in a professional setting. So how do you get more experience? And especially, how can you get more relevant experience? So one of the main things is volunteering. It can be with a local organization, it can be with a place you're already doing, and seeing how the skills you're learning could be related and helpful to this group. I do want to take a moment to understand the difference between what it would be you volunteering versus what an unpaid opportunity would be. So you volunteering, and I'm going to go with the easy one here, as the graphic designer for your church, is a great way to start to get more projects and be able to talk about what it means to have to create something for deadlines with specific information on it. But you're a volunteer at that point. That's you choosing to do the thing on your own schedule, versus an unpaid opportunity is going to be a little bit more structured, or should be more structured, especially if it's an unpaid internship opportunity. It should be more structured. It should be something that you're learning from, and something that isn't taking a drain on what you are doing in the other aspects of your life. So if you're already going to the church and you're happy to volunteer and do posters for them sometimes, then go ahead and do it. And just be aware, though, at any point you're starting to feel like they're becoming more demanding as having ownership of your time in any way, shape, or form. It's not something I see often, but when we're talking about doing things for free, I do like to clear that up a little bit. But for these places you're already involved, are there small ways you can volunteer to help out? Volunteer experience can be a section on your resume, or as I said, it can just be under experience and you just explain what you did for it. You can join organizations, so organizations that are related to what you're doing, so clubs on campus. Join one of the many architecture clubs we have on campus. That's a great chance to get involved. If you're just a member and you just show up to a couple of things here and there, that doesn't necessarily belong on your resume. But if you take on a leadership role within that organization, or if you're a member that participates a lot and helps out and volunteers to do a lot of extra things, those can also go on your resume, especially if they're organizations related to the industry you want to work for. Then that's a great way of showing how you're engaging with this industry as you're gaining the skills to effectively work within this industry. So you'll often get to talk to other people that are in the field doing similar things, see what the organization is doing, and if they're not doing what you necessarily are looking to gain, that's a great opportunity to take a leadership role to steer the organization in a direction you would like to see it going in, and then that's something that will also stand out on your resume. Consider taking on freelance opportunities or commission-based projects. In this case, once more, if you're only really just entering your major or haven't really yet, you would want to do this on a small scale. You wouldn't be able to charge a lot, but it's a way to start to build up business, other outside portfolio work, and a possibility to start to understand more of what clients are looking for. So look for small ways to be creating these projects, because you're freelancing, you're selling at art shows, or different cons and around the city or in your hometown, can be a really great way of also building experience that shows, one, I have deadlines I need to meet, I'm working with clients directly to meet these deadlines and get them what they need, and I'm also designing the things that I am effectively putting out there into the world and what that ends up looking like. Start a side project of some sort. I know during the school year it can be really hard because you're pretty busy most of the time, but during those downtimes, especially now as we're entering into summer, don't just stop doing your work just because you don't have an opportunity directly connected to that. If you have a summer job, during the time between that, is there something that you might want to work on? Is there a piece of furniture you might want to build? Do you want to potentially redesign the interior of one of Pratt's dorm rooms just for the fun of it? figure out something that would be really interesting to you and start working on that. It doesn't need to be something that you are consistently working on and churning out the way that you often have to during the school year. But having this side project will give you that ability to start to explore how these skills you are learning could be applied within the real world. And then also consider redoing or expanding on old projects you've already worked on, especially if you're a first year student who doesn't do a foundation year that is directly in your major to start with. You've started to gain a lot of these skills and softwares already. So some of the projects you did at the beginning of the year, now that you're through a year of school, you probably have much better skills. Can you revisit that project and start to see how it would improve now, and one, to be able to show side to side how much you've improved, but to see how you would approach it now from this newer perspective that you're working on. These are all great ways to start to see how you're being able to get more involved in what's going on with your projects and be able to practice your skills so that you can talk a little bit more about how you're approaching your work and what that work looks like. It's also really interesting to think about semi-related positions. So especially for my first year students who take a foundation year where you're not really that close to your major at all during this first year, and potentially if you're looking for something early on in your sophomore year, taking on a non-design or artist position at a creative company is a really great way to start to get this semi-related experience. It allows you the opportunity to build your network a little bit more, to learn more about the industry and build up knowledge for when you have these more specific skills that they're looking for. You're going to get to see how everything is going to be working, and you're going to be able to talk more specifically about that industry and understand and learn from that experience, even though you're not directly necessarily working with the designers, working with the architects or something like, or one of those types of people. Find positions that rely on the skills that you already have. So it might be something that's a little bit more PR related. If you're someone who has maybe run social media for clubs or organizations you're a part of, maybe it's a social media position within a company that's a bigger interior design firm. Maybe it's taking on more of an office management type position to instead, but looking to see what those areas are that get you closer to the field that you're interested in, and at least maybe around the arts or designs world, because that's going to be really helpful for you in the future once you have gained more of these skills. These are going to be people that will already know you after working with you and might be able to give you that more specific opportunity in the future, and can potentially connect you to other people within the field that might be able to give you an opportunity later on. So this is a really quick one, but basically when you're looking to gain experience, one, look at what it is that you have already done in your past. Often these things are way more related than you think that they are. In looking towards the future, think about small ways you can gain experience through volunteering, working on projects that might already exist, side projects, revisiting old work. These types of things especially are going to show your ability to take initiative and be self-driven, because no one asked you to revisit that project. Why are you doing that? If it's to better your skills, that's going to be really nice for somebody to hear that you are self-directing in that way. Think of opportunities that are in the arts but maybe not doing exactly what it is you plan to be doing after graduation. That's a great way to start to network and to get close to the people doing this type of work, even though you don't necessarily have the specific skill set that they're going to need for somebody doing that. And get involved with organizations, volunteer groups, anything like that, because those are great opportunities, one, to give back to the community, but to gain little bits of knowledge and skills outside of the sort of traditional routes of doing things. As always, time for questions, and if you think of anything else, always feel free to email me. Have a great day.